to be doing a review and then a mini tutorial on the eye look that I'm wearing using this new Kat Von D Monarch palette. I posted a picture on my Instagram and a lot of people said that they wanted to see my review or my take on this palette and a few looks with it, so I'm going to have a few looks coming up. I wanted to get one as I was playing with the palette and working out some looks. I came across this eye and a lot of you have done a similar eye like this and a lot of you guys asked for a tutorial, so I thought it would be perfect just to add clips in at the end, so it's almost like a mini get ready with me. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned till the end. I'm just gonna get talking about this Kat Von D Monarch palette. Now, I had heard a ton of buzz about this. I've never purchased any Kat Von D palette before, but I know that she has really smooth quality, very pigmented eyeshadows. So I was really excited when I saw this particular palette getting so many great reviews. Now, she did come out with two palettes, the Monarch palette and the Chrysalis palette. Obviously, it's centered around butterflies, but the Monarch palette is more of a neutral, everyday palette. I would say it has your warm tone browns, it has your cool tone browns, and then some matte and neutral cream shades. So I'm going to swatch all of the colors in this palette and give you my thoughts. Chrysalis palette is more of a purple, has some blue and some silvers in it. I have a lot of those shades. I have a lot of these shades too, let's be honest. But this was the palette that was getting the most reviews as being everyone's favorite out of the two, so I just went ahead and I wanted to purchase one. I didn't want to get both, but I went ahead and purchased. Now this retails, I believe, for $47. If I'm wrong, I will list it below. I got mine from Sephora and I went through EBATES and they were giving cash back and a really nice deluxe sample of the Guerlain Meteorites powder. So I was like, ugh, you sucked me in, you sucked me in. So if you guys don't know what EBATES are, you get cash back and save money. So I'll leave the link for EBATES below, but I always use EBATES, especially when I'm shopping online for Sephora. So let's get into this palette. Now it comes in a really nice, strongly magnetized palette with a mirror, but that's probably not what you guys really care about, but I just thought I would mention it. It has 12 shades. Now the 3 up top are larger than the pan size down here, and throughout this palette there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matte shades, and then the rest are like a shimmer or a satin shade. Now these shades are so smooth and soft and buttery. The quality of them and the feel of them reminds me of the Lorac Pro palette, and you guys know how much I adore the Lorac Pro palette. They're soft, and so with soft shadows, like soft and really buttery, you're going to get some fallout. I get it with the Lorac Pro palette, but since I love it so much and they blend so beautifully, I deal with the fallout. So it's the same case with this palette. So I'm just going to start by swatching the shades so that you can see them. This is the guide on the back, and I believe it's like if I was looking at the palette, so that's how I'm going to read it. So starting right here is the shade Wrath. And this is a gorgeous, really nice, warm toned, I mean, look at that pigmentation. It's such smooth pigmentation. Really nice warm toned orangey brown color. I love this. It really gives that subtle halo effect when you blend it out. I have that in my crease and then blend it up, and I just love it. I mean, it's so pigmented. As you can see, that was just one swipe. The next shade right here is called Papillo, and it's a beautiful deep brown shade. It has a little bit of a gold sheen to it, but not much. Really nice chocolatey brown color. I really love this color. It's a subtle sheen, so it plays really nicely with the other colors in the palette. Next shade right here is this beautiful gold shade, and that is called Summerfly. It's a really warm and yellow gold. Oh, I love it. Even just a look with those 3 shades together is beautiful. Next shade is called Killing Jar, and this is like a peachy sheen color. I love this shade, really buttery and soft. It's a great lid color. These are both really nice lid colors. It would look great over Maybelline's Inked in Pink. Just has that beautiful like peach tone to it. Next is a little bit more of a cool tone shade, and this is called Delaney. I love it. It's really nice. So it's like a silvery taupe right there. has a beautiful sheen to it. All these shades are extremely buttery and smooth, and they just blend so beautifully. And they just apply on the eye so nice. Like, I'm really impressed. Like I said, this is my first Kat Von D palette. I'm always ready to give my honest opinion, and so far I'm really impressed. Okay, so now it comes into a cooler tone matte brown. This color right here reminds me of like Wedge or Cork from MAC. It's called Vanish, and it looks like it's really light, but it actually has some pigment to it when you're applying it to your crease. So it's more pigmented than MAC's Wedge. It takes less to build up. It's a really beautiful transition color, and like I said, it's a little bit more of a cooler tone. So mixing like the cooler tones with the warmer tone really is a nice standout and something fun to do in this all-in-one palette. What I do love about this palette is that it does mix those shimmer and matte shades, and it has the matte highlight and brow bone color and a shimmer highlight and brow bone color. So that is a perfect palette in my opinion when you have everything you need to complete a full look, and this palette has that. Next color is called Disintegration, and this is a really cool toned brown taupe color. It's like the second color. The sheen in it isn't as noticeable as the sheen in some of these more metallic colors right here. This is a very subtle sheen. It's not completely matte. It's like this color right here. It's really nice, really pigmented, but plays more on the cooler side of the spectrum. So I love this shade. This deep matte brown shade right here is called Shadow Box. Very deep, dark, pigmented brown color. This is what I have all over my lid today. I loved the way it applied. It was just so rich and so pigmented. It didn't take much just to really pat it on, and then blending out the edges, it was like a dream. And the last shade in this palette is called Deadhead, and it is a matte black shade. In my opinion, it's really important to have a deep matte brown and a black in every palette, a matte black, just for creating those smoky looks. That is the Deadhead color, which is the matte black. Sorry, my swatches are getting awkward on my arm. I'm going to swatch the next three on the other hand. So now we have the top row shades. Across the top is Tiny Death, and this is a shimmery shade. It's like a cream color, but it has some shimmer in it. It has some like little almost like glitter fallout. That's the only thing that I don't necessarily love. I would prefer more of a sheen when it comes to a highlight. So that's the only shade that I would say is like a, ooh, I wish it was like a little bit more of a sheen instead of like glitters in it. But I don't notice that it's a problem, but it just doesn't make as much of an impact. So that is Tiny Death right there. Next shade right here is called Telepathy, and this is one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's like a light taupey silver color. This is much more silver cooler tone, but this is almost like a taupe shimmer, but it's not as much of a sheen. It still has like a little bit more of a silver. Like, I wouldn't call it a champagne. It is so buttery and smooth. I'm talking like one of the most buttery, creamy shades ever. It's just gorgeous. So that is Telepathy. But it just looks like a little bit more of a dirty champagne is how I would describe it. And the last shade over here is called Entomology, and it is a really beautiful matte cream color. It has like a little bit of a yellow tone to it, which I like. It reminds me of Foxy from the Urban Decay Naked palettes. As you can see right there, it's just a little bit more of a cream color. So there are those lighter shades right here. Overall opinions are, I love this palette. Every look that I've done with it, I've been pleased with. It's such a beautiful palette. It's one of those palettes that I don't think you'd be disappointed in making the purchase, because it's an everyday neutral palette. It's a complete palette. It has those matte shades. It has a transition matte color. It has a matte deepen to create depth in your crease. It also has a matte brow bone color. And that is a complete palette in my opinion. This is going to be a palette that I'm going to reach for a lot. The shades are buttery, they're smooth, they're pigmented, they are blend very easily. They're, I mean, effortlessly blending. So I love this palette. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, then go ahead and keep watching. If not, thank you so much for watching. Leave down below if you've picked up this palette, or if you plan to pick up this palette, or if there are any questions that I didn't answer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Mwah. finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed the review with the mini tutorial included in it. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, then go ahead and leave those below, and I will see you all in the next video. Mwah.